Today on 2+U Nevada.
4 semi-trucks full of gear. Over, I don't know how many thousands of items that is, but everything from complete ski outfits to gloves, helmets, snowboard.
The best event for you to pick up new and used gear to hit the slopes is coming up this weekend. We chat with the University of Nevada ski team coach and learn more about the annual ski swap.
I went to Sicily maybe May of 2022, stayed there for 3 weeks, learned all I can.
Getting the taste of Sicily. What makes Dolce Caffe's pastries the best?
We have legalized prostitution in our state. We're in fact the only state that has legalized prostitution. So we've created avenues in, but what are the exit strategies? What do we have for the women and the girls that are affected to actually exit prostitution?
The organization working tirelessly to help women and children trafficked in Northern Nevada get back on their feet. You're watching 2+U Nevada. Thank you for joining us for this edition of 2+U Nevada. I'm Sarah Johns, your host. Hope you had an awesome weekend and are planning for a fun week. I have to say, Sophia for the win. You may remember last week I was complaining about my kids bickering incessantly, all the time. Well, Sophia had suggested that I make them a get-along shirt, an extra large shirt that they both must wear together when they start fighting, and they must wear it until they get along. Guess what? It worked beautifully. Are you two getting along?
No. Yes. No. This won't help at all.
The kids ended up having so much fun with this punishment, it completely flipped the script, and they couldn't remember why they were fighting to begin with. So, thank you, Sophia, for the idea. We have a fantastic show for you today. Nobody wants or expects to get into a car crash. But if an accident were to happen, are you fully covered? Why, many people think they are, but aren't. What you need to look for on your insurance card. Plus a reminder that SNAP benefits are changing effective November 1st. That's this weekend. What steps you may need to take now if you rely on them. And the furniture store that has your nights covered. We are thrilled to have you joining us today for 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. Joining us this afternoon, so excited to have Greg Mason and Cameron Smith here to talk to us about the UNR Ski Swap. And Cameron, you're the fairly new UNR ski team coach. I should say Nevada.
You should say Nevada.
I should say the Nevada ski team coach.
Thank you.
Tell us about your background.
Yeah, so I come from Colorado. I competed at the University of Colorado for 4 years, and then I was the assistant coach right after that. From that, I moved into the industry where I was working for Head Skis, and I was the national race manager. This team is fairly new. This is the 4th season. We're entering our 4th season. This is going to be my 3rd season of the team coming back and being a D1 program. So we're slowly rebuilding the program.
Yeah, and let's talk about the skiers that you have and the team that you have being an NCAA D1 team.
Yeah, so we have 15 athletes on the team right now. We have 7 women, 8 men. We're about half and half, so we have quite a few locals, some people just up the road, up at the lake, Olympic Valley in Truckee, as well as some international athletes as well. I'm really looking forward to the season this year. Last year, we had 2 athletes qualify for NCAA championships where they were actually scoring points for the team and for the university there. And I think we might be the only team at the university that can say that we did that. So exciting.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, Greg, if you're a local here in town, you know, before ski season gets underway, you need to go to the UNR Ski Swap.
That's exactly right. You know, we've been doing the ski swap for some 40 years now. And of course, the venues have changed over the years. And right now we're at the Reno Sparks Visitors and Convention Center. We've been there for about 3 or 4 years now. And it works out great because it's a large venue, parking's easy, and it's just easy ingress and egress into that facility, you know. We have a great relationship with Ski Pro. They're the ones that bring in all the gear. We've narrowed it down to one vendor, and it's worked out very well for us. The best part about this is, I don't know if you remember back in the old days, you would have to bring all your gear in and fill out forms, and the lines would be tremendous. Now you just take them to Ski Pro.
That's cool.
And you can
That's
start
great.
doing that now.
Oh, okay.
And-
So Ski Pro is collecting items right now.
Right. They're collecting the items, limited to 10 per person. And you go there, fill out the forms. Everything's copacetic. At the end of the swap, you go back and check. Actually, you can check and see if your item sold through the website. But if it didn't, you go back to Ski Pro after the swap, the week after, and pick up your unsold gear.
Now, I find this hilarious, but you were telling me that there are some off-limits gear to being donated.
Yeah.
Because people don't want the sweaty,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
gross,
yeah. Well, let's
long john.
Right, yeah. Who wants someone else's long johns or beanies or socks, right? Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is that helmets as well. We can't guarantee them because we don't know if they've been in an accident or not. So no helmets. But also sometimes skis come with old bindings that cannot be indemnified. So if you know if that's a good binding or not, if you're not sure, just take it off. And then we can still sell the skis without the binding.
That makes sense. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty about the UNR Ski Swap. This is actually the main fundraiser for the team. Is that correct?
Well, one of them, yeah. Well, we have a ski ball that's probably the biggest fundraiser we have, and that's on the 31st. Is that right?
November 1st.
November 1st. Saturday, November 1st. Okay. And then this is probably the second. Used to be the first, but now it's the second. And this event is Friday the 31st, which happens to be Halloween, and then through November 3rd. The times are going to be on Friday, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
So you're going to go straight on Saturday from the ski swap to this ball,
Yes, exactly.
and you recommend people do the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that'd
Oh,
be great.
that's great. Well, let's take a look at some examples of what kind of gear, and this is really just, prop, because you guys have wall-to-wall gear.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been to one recently, but that whole convention center, the rooms that we usually have 2 to 3 rooms, chock-a-block full. 4 semi-trucks full of gear. Over, I don't know how many thousands of items that is. But everything from complete ski outfits to gloves, helmets, snowboards. I mean, for example, this one here, complete with bindings, is $450. And that's not a bad deal for a snowboard. And this is apparently an all-mountain board that is good for beginners all the way up into a good rider. So
And if
you
you're
name
the
it, we have
first
it.
75 through the door on the
Correct.
first day or every day?
So here's the good part. The first 75 people that come in on Friday and on Saturday, each of them get a free day pass for Mount Rose. And then on Sunday, everything that Ski Pro offers is 10% off. Now, individuals, if I bring a snowboard in and I want to market it $300, that stays at $300 because they don't have the codes and everything to adjust for that. But all Ski Pro items will be 10% off on Sunday.
Awesome. Well, Greg, Cameron, thank you both for being here. Have a wonderful season this year, and you are watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. So excited to be joined by Melissa Iturriaga again of Dolce Caffee. This time we're at your flagship location in Mayberry Landing. Thank you so much for having us this afternoon.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming. I so appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, and we love Dolce Caffee. So after you and your family came on in our very first episode of 2+U Nevada, my mom said, I need to know more about the pastries.
Yes.
And this is the pastry place. As a matter of fact, okay, so Melissa, you're the baker and you actually learned all of this by going to Sicily.
Yes.
Give me that background.
So I wanted to open a bakery for about probably 10, 12 years, and I went to Sicily.
So
for
when
3
you were
weeks.
5,
Yeah.
you started wanting.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I do look good. Thank you. No, so I went to Sicily maybe May of 2022, stayed there for 3 weeks, learned all I can, and then
From your family friend.
yes, exactly, named Jeanney. Very close friend of ours, and then he came with us for 2 months to teach me the ropes of a kitchen, all these pastries, which you can see that are very, very unique and you don't really see in Reno, Nevada.
You really don't. So every pastry that's on this table that we're looking at is a legit Sicilian pastry?
Yes.
Okay, run through what we're looking at right now.
We can start with the fig cookies, cucciati. They are kind of your Newton cookies in a way, but way better. And then we have a raviola, which is ricotta and chocolate chips with a nice crusty croissant. And then we have our bomba, which a lot of people love. It's our chocolate hazelnut with an Italian donut. We have our fried brioche bread with vanilla custard inside. Very good,
that just
very
sounds
yummy
amazing.
and crunchy as well. Then we have another pastry, which is like a fruit twist. It's like a little twist of fruit and custard all wrapped in one, for
Now,
sure.
I'm not, like, these all look amazing, but I love sweet and savory, and you
Yes.
also have those options.
I do. I have 2 right here. We have the cipollina, which is caramelized onions, red sauce, cheese, ham. So delicious. Our ham is also imported from Italy, so really good. And then we have our salata de funghi, which is mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, and a white sauce. Really good, really, for the vegetarians.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, and what I love about this too is this is only a sampling of what you have here
Yeah.
at Dolce Cafe.
Yes, we have a variety of cookies, pastries, even more savory stuff, sandwiches, all that stuff. But hopefully people can try and come by.
Yeah, and this is your first flagship location.
Yes.
When we met last time, we were at your second location, your new location in Midtown, which does dinners, but this location, you're also doing dinners more in the summer though.
In the summertime, yes. So that would be more of a bigger group. We'll do it outside for like 18 to 22.
In the beautiful courtyard. You guys have an amazing courtyard.
Yes. I will say Mayberry Landing is a really great place, a really beautiful location.
And to put a pin on where this location is, Mayberry Landing is on West McCarran, where like Buenos Grill is and Yogurt Beach. You're in that shopping center.
Yes. Yeah. And it's really gave us a really boost. It's a really beautiful place.
I love it here. I love it here. I love looking. In fact, I already admittedly purchased 3 items to take home. And so I have the pink box maybe behind the team over there, but over behind the camera. What is your favorite? And I'm sure it's hard to have a favorite when this is your business and your
Yeah.
baby. But truly, what do you order? What do you eat?
I would probably get the raviola. If you love ricotta, that is amazing. Amazing. It's not overly too sweet. It's just the right consistency of.
And do you eat those warm? Like, do you eat these savory items warm? How are you supposed to eat
So
this?
we do ask our customers, hey, would you like it warm? Would you like not warm? It's kind of preference, but I would like to heat them up, even the savory stuff for sure. But the pastries, not so much. It just depends on the customer.
Okay. Now, this is what we're taking a look at that's available behind the counter.
Yes.
Can people order items from you? And if so, how much advance time do you need?
We just need a couple of days for any of these, even maybe a day's notice. So just really quick, we have these often all the time. And we do tell people, hey, we are out of that, so what else we can give you, or I give them other suggestions on stuff.
Okay, and then I see that you have a beautiful wine fridge here. So
Yes.
so let's talk about the other offerings aside from the pastries.
Yes. Well, with pastries, you can also have a nice red wine or white wine with it. We have it here. We have a wine and beer license here. So if you just want to come by, have a wine, have some pasta too. We also do pasta as well.
Oh, let's go into that.
Yes. So my mom does pasta here with the wine, and all the things.
So there's dinner fare here as well?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what can people get here for dinner?
For dinner, They can do just a pasta, some type of savory stuff, not too much, but we have some variety of things, even to go if they need to as well.
Well, thank you so much for including us again in this beautiful Dolce Cafe location at Mayberry Landing. You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I'm so excited to have Jen Campbell here with Awaken joining us this afternoon. Jen, you are a co-founder of Awaken. When we were talking on the phone about how you even knew to get this organization started, I feel the origin story is very important, because if you don't know at home, Awaken helps to battle sex trafficking and help women get out of that life. How did you even know about that?
I actually didn't. It was 2010 and I had not yet heard the term human trafficking or sex trafficking, but I met Melissa Holland, who we co-founded Awaken together, and she was at the beginning stages of really figuring out, what does this look like for our community? We have legalized prostitution in our state. We're in fact the only state that has legalized prostitution. So we've created avenues in, but what are the exit strategies? What do we have for the women and the girls that are affected to actually exit prostitution? And we found in our community that we didn't have any. And so she's very much wired to then do something about it. And Melissa is still our visionary. Like, she has incredible vision. And then I'm more of a to-do checklist person. And so I was able to help us with our bylaws and our 501c3 and the business license. And together we actually made a really good team. Still to this day, we run Awaken together. We're pretty different in our abilities, which is really good, and it's healthy.
That's like Sophia and me, right? Like,
yes.
We say we share a brain because I've got one half and she's got the other half.
Right. Without vision, I'd have nothing to do. And so it is a perfect match. And so really we realized at the beginning we were just doing therapy, and Melissa was doing the therapy and I was doing the relational aspects of it. The women needed rides to and from therapy, and in that I realized they hadn't eaten, or they had errands to run, and it's great, let me pick you up and let's do it later this week. And we realized how ineffective just therapy is when, as a community, we have nothing else for these women. And so realistically, we're sending them back on the streets, we're sending them back to the pimps, we're sending them back to dysfunction. And it's like, no, until we as a community wake up to this issue, until we have more to offer them, then we got to grow first.
Right.
And so that was important for us as a community to wake up.
And I don't want to imply that because we have legal prostitution, those prostitutes are involved in sex trafficking or anything like that. But I think a lot of people, when Awaken first started and we hadn't heard about sex trafficking, didn't understand why sex trafficking would be an issue in a state where there is legalized prostitution. Can you help talk about that? We have a state that has legalized prostitution, but we also cannot deny that we have sex trafficking in our state, in our country, and in the world.
So not all prostitution is trafficking. All sex trafficking is prostitution. Yet, we're, as the only state that has legalized prostitution, our rates of illegal prostitution are illegal. It's higher than any other state. We are 63% higher than the next highest state, because we've made a market for it. We've created demand, and where you create demand, you have to bring in supply. And supply is women and children. And so until women and children quit selling, we're going to continue to have the highest rates. We're also desensitized to it. What people don't know is prostitution is actually not legal like in Washoe County or in Clark County. It's only in the counties that have less than, I believe, 700,000 people. And yet people think that prostitution is legal here. Like I said, we have the highest rates of illegal prostitution than any other state. And it's truly because we've created a market for it.
In the last 15 years, thankfully, the discussion has increased, not only in our community, not only in our state, but in the country as well. Do you think that's because of organizations like Awaken actually starting that conversation? And why does that conversation need to be had?
Conversation needs to be had because I myself, growing up in Reno, I didn't know. I was desensitized to it. I assumed that the women who were engaging in prostitution are choosing it, that they wanted to be there. And I never actually looked deeper. And so I didn't know the history of those that come from addiction, that come from generational prostitution, that come from abuse. I would say at Awaken, one of our preventative efforts is actually to run a group for girls, teen girls, that have experienced, whether it's physical abuse or sexual abuse, but haven't yet been trafficked. That's when we really need to interject, because out of the women and the girls that we work with, so many of them do have histories of being abused and neglected at really early ages. The youngest girl that I personally worked with that is a victim of sex trafficking has been 11 in our community, and she's not the only one. And I do hear about girls even younger. And so sadly, by the time that they get to Awaken, the abuse has started way before they ever get here. And so we're hearing about really early ages because in a sense, as a community, we've been groomed that this is okay. If you think about our media and what we see on TV or the radio, how we portray the sex culture and the sex industry, we almost glorify it and glamorize it. But that's not the reality that the women and the girls face.
We have about 30 seconds left. Quickly, are the victims that you're helping, are they local or are they brought in from somewhere else?
At Awaken, we've worked with over 1,200 women and children. Last year alone, we worked with over 190 plus secondary participants. We work with their healthy partners as well and their children to really wrap around the whole family unit. And out of those numbers, I would say 99% of them are local. They truly are our women, our sisters, our friends, and they're our community members. And so not many, and I do know that international trafficking happens, but we just don't see it right here in our community.
That is crazy. I would have assumed that they would have been brought into our community. So 99% of the people that you help grew up here.
And I would say they weren't kidnapped either. And so they weren't plucked off the streets. A lot of it, the traffickers know how to recruit through relationship, through love, through the desire within all of us to be seen, to be known, to be valued. They know how to actually provide that. And so it's not just as simple as plucking a girl off the streets, but there's a whole grooming and recruitment process, a lot of which now starts online.
Jen, how do people reach out to Awaken for either help, information, or donation?
So our office is right in the heart of where prostitution takes place in our community. It is right on 4th Street. You can also check out our website. It's awakenjustice.org.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I'm joined by Joe Bradley and Phil Doran of Bradley, Drendel, Jeanney. So excited to have you guys here this afternoon. A very important topic for us to discuss, and that is auto insurance and the coverage that someone has.
Yes, well, first, thanks for having us. We deal with automobile insurance coverage every single day, whether it's advising people about what their coverage is or trying to determine in an accident what the opposing driver has. And in the state of Nevada, you're required, in order to register your car, you have to have bodily injury limits of $25.50. That means if one person is injured, there's $25,000 to cover that person's injuries and losses. If there was a car full of people, there's $50,000 available for the group of people in there with no person capable of receiving more than the $25,000.
Okay. So the $50,000 is to cover everybody in the car, but no one person can exceed $25,000.
That's correct. Okay. And those are the bare minimum limits in the state of Nevada that you have to have. Frankly, we consider that underinsured. Okay. We like to see people, especially if they have assets. The reason we have automobile insurance coverage is to protect our assets in the event that we cause an injury. And if we have substantial wealth, then you have to have insurance to protect that, because you don't want somebody coming after your bank account.
100%. And Phil, you were saying that there are people who come into your office and they say, oh, we have full coverage.
That's correct. So somebody gets in an accident and they give us a call and they say, this is what happened, I was rear-ended, and they go, but I'm fully covered. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean to you? And they say, well, my insurance agent said I have full coverage. Full coverage for us is having uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage, and hopefully MedPay. Uninsured motorist coverage is when the other driver, the person who caused the accident, does not carry an insurance policy. Underinsured is if they don't carry enough insurance.
Like what you were saying, Joe, if they have the $25.50 and it might not be
often
able
it's
to cover.
Often it is not enough to cover. And so therefore what we will do is once we determine that the third party doesn't have adequate coverage, we'll move into our client's insurance policy and see how much un- or underinsured motorist coverage they have, how much med pay they have. I tell people I think the two most important insurance coverages that you can have is and underinsured motorist coverage, because that covers us. When you buy bodily injury coverage, you're insuring everybody else in the world against your negligence. When you get and underinsured motorist coverage, you're protecting you and your family from everybody else in the world that might hurt you.
That is a great anecdote, a great way to explain it. And nobody thinks they're going to get into a car wreck. Nobody thinks that it's going to happen. But I mean, speaking personally, I was in a 3-car pileup, middle car, the guy hits me, I hit someone else, and the guy who hit me didn't have insurance. And it seems like that's something that's really prevalent nowadays.
To be perfectly honest with you, it's a huge problem across the country, the and underinsured motorist driver. It's such a big issue that the Nevada State Legislature says that you have to be offered underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage up to the amount of your bodily injury limit. If you want to decline that, which we encourage nobody to do, you have to sign in writing that you don't want un- or underinsured motorist coverage, because the un- or underinsured driver is a huge societal problem.
So Phil, if folks are watching this at home and they pull out their insurance coverage policy, what do they need to be looking for? Is there specific verbiage that lets them know?
There is. So if you go to whatever it is, the app on any insurance company, and you scroll down to other coverages, or probably most of the time lower on the page, you'll find something that's labeled UM/UIM. And if there is a number next to it, you're in luck. You have underinsured, uninsured motorist coverage. And if there's a rejected, then you probably need to contact your insurance agent and get it as soon as possible, because it is a real risk. And for a very small amount of money, it provides an incredible peace of mind.
And what happens to somebody if they are hit by an underinsured or uninsured person?
That's why it's such great coverage, and why MedPay is such great coverage. If that coverage follows you everywhere, if you're injured as the result of the operation of a motor vehicle, if you're a pedestrian, your and underinsured motorist coverage will follow you, as will your MedPay. If you're in somebody else's car, or if you're in your own car and the person that hits you doesn't have coverage, then your and underinsured motorist will follow you, and so will your MedPay. The beautiful thing about MedPay coverage is, unlike your group health policy, we have to pay that back at the end of the case. MedPay that you have on your auto policy, if you use that to pay for some of your medical bills and so on when you seek treatment after an accident, we don't have to pay that back.
Such a great conversation, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Joe, Phil, you're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and joining us this afternoon, Marie Baxter, CEO of Catholic Charities Northern Nevada. Marie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we learned earlier in the month that things are changing for SNAP recipients.
Yes.
So what's happening? And you say that this is actually occurring calendar day, November 1.
So that is our certain understanding, is that there's been a lot of changes within the federal safety net programs in general, but one of the ones that we want to make sure, we're really getting the word out is related to SNAP. So SNAP, which is, food stamps, essentially, they're changing the workforce requirements. And a lot of those things we thought were going to start to take place in the spring are actually going to start rolling out in early November.
So sooner.
So very soon, yes.
Lot sooner than thought.
A lot sooner than we thought. So individuals who are veterans, people who are experiencing homelessness, foster youth who are aging out, they are now also going to need to meet these specific workforce eligibility criteria. So anyone that is a SNAP recipient that they call an able-bodied person who can work, not my words, that's a federal term, they can either volunteer 80 hours a month, they can work 80 hours a month, or they can be in an education program, a work type, certificate program, or something along those lines to maintain their eligibility for SNAP. The age is also changing. It used to be that there were some waivers that are for starting with people who are at 54. That's changing to 64. So now if you're between the ages of 54 and 64, there are some workforce or volunteering requirements that are coming into there. And there's some other nuanced changes in there as well in terms of wanting to make sure things are properly documented, and really understanding that if you're qualified, to have a little extra assistance for food, you're going to want to get the information. The other changes related to dependents. So it used to be that if you had a child who was 16 years or younger, you were sort of waived from having to work, and that age is dropping down to 14.
Okay.
And so there's lots of nuances. Things are continuing to be, sort of flexible. So the best advice we have is please go, if you are a SNAP recipient or you're considering applying for SNAP, go and talk with one of the SNAP enrollment specialists at the Division of Welfare. The Food Bank of Northern Nevada has people who do SNAP enrollments. We have SNAP enrollment specialists even at Catholic Charities on our campus and in our client choice pantries. Find out what it is that you might not know you don't know.
Right.
Because there's a lot more documentation that you're going to have.
And it sounds like the needle is continually moving. And so even as of airtime, the information may be different, which is why it's very important that you speak to that professional. But at this point, the day that we're recording this, it sounds like 80 hours is that magic number per month.
Per month.
Can you combine? Do you know if you can combine working and volunteering in that 80 hours, or is it one lump?
As far as we know, yes. It's kind of 20 hours a week. But we know that, at the time of this taping, that we're looking at waiting for further guidance from the federal government and from the state on exactly what that's going to look like. But we just want to encourage people, ask the questions. This is happening. So we want to make sure that everybody, is able to know that they are going to want to find out, is it something where I can combine volunteer and working? Is it something where I need to have specific documents? And we don't know all the details yet, but we know it's coming. And so we just want people to be as proactive as possible.
Right.
So that they can maintain that, that support, because groceries are so expensive.
Oh my
right
gosh,
now.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on groceries. That can break the bank to begin with. So also, we are running this with enough time, hopefully, that people can see a SNAP professional by that November 1st date, which is a Saturday.
Yes.
So with that, how can people reach out to Catholic Charities Northern Nevada to get an appointment? Do you need an appointment? Is it walk-ins? How does that process look?
So it is walk-ins, at Catholic Charities, at any of the Food Bank of Northern Nevada sites where they have SNAP. We're kind of the two biggest groups where people tend to connect with SNAP professionals. But the biggest thing is the other part that Catholic Charities brings to this is if you know you need to become a volunteer, if you know you're looking for work and maybe you haven't been in the workforce very long, now is the time to be reaching out to Catholic Charities. Become a volunteer with us. There's a lot of things we can do to help you. Our thrift stores are always hiring. You can come in. There's a lot of flexibility for especially people who maybe haven't been in the workforce. So we're a little bit unique. We want to encourage people to go and find out what they need to do, to maintain access to that. But also at Catholic Charities, there's a myriad of other things that we can do to help people with stabilization. So that's the other word that we want to get out is lean in and see what we can do to help you, maybe address some of those things that you're like, but I don't have a job, or how do I get a volunteer? We can help people with that right now. And it's just going to be better for them all around.
And I don't mean to gotcha with this question, but it's just one that pinged in my head. Do they have to have proof that they've been volunteering and been working by November 1st?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
Again, we're still waiting for kind of the overall guidance that would be coming from the, the federal USDA through the local state office of Human Services.
Sure.
So we're still kind of waiting on some of that. But for sure, if you are working and you are a SNAP recipient, maintaining documentation is only going to make things better for you in the long run.
Yes.
Hold on to those pay stubs. You know, if you're volunteering, get those letters that says I've been volunteering.
Yes.
So that way you're already ready. When you do, have to fill out new paperwork, it's everybody has to fill out paperwork no matter where you go, then you're one step ahead of the game.
Okay, quickly, where do people go to Catholic Charities of Northern Nevada?
So the best place to come is what we call our main campus, corner of 4th and Valley. They can also come into our client choice pantries. There's one on Moana Lane, and there is one in Sun Valley. And of course, all of our services are bilingual and open to everybody in general. So we always encourage you to come in, and we'll help guide you through the system.
Marie Baxter, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You're watching 2+U Nevada, and we are talking your home furnishings here at JM Furniture in Carson City. Joining me now, Linda Van Buskirk. And Linda, I cannot get over the amount of selection that you have in your mattress department.
We do. We have a wonderful selection.
It's
Everything
such
from
an important purchase,
high
isn't
end.
it?
Yeah,
Really
it really
important.
is. It is the most important purchase for your home because you spend a third of your life in your bed. Mm-hmm. So it's where you need to be most comfortable.
And one thing, my husband and I made the mistake of purchasing a mattress online, came in a box, and man, now we're sleep divorced. No kidding. He is sleeping downstairs in the basement. I'm sleeping upstairs in the master bedroom because it just doesn't fit both of our desires for a mattress. It's so important to be able to come here. Do you have people like in the movie where people just come and try out mattresses?
All day long. All day long.
And you welcome that, though.
We sure do. We sure do. We want everybody to feel good about the purchase that they make. And the comfort level that they're getting, we want them to have, a wonderful experience here at JM Furniture.
JM Furniture, I'm so impressed. Walking in, this place is huge.
It is, and we get told that every day, that it's very deceiving from the parking lot. We even have an upstairs here, which is, a little unusual for a furniture store.
And you've been in furniture stores, furniture sales for decades.
I have. My family moved us to Lake Tahoe on the South Shore back in 1977 when I was young, and bought a little secondhand furniture store that they quickly grew into a new furniture store. So I've been in the business most of my life, and I just kind of feel now like I've come full circle here. So
because you got out of the furniture sales and out of your family's business and then went off and had your own career and then came back to furniture at JM.
Right.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for a little over 6 years now. Wow. Yeah.
And your clientele runs the gamut. Tell me about the clients that you're serving.
Oh, we serve everything from homeowners, second homeowners, vacation rentals, executives, ranch owners, you name it. We have the nice large gamut here of people that come and shop at JM Furniture, and it's really interesting getting to work with them and discover what their needs are for their home. So it's fun.
And you do have a wide range of styles here. When I walked in, truly impressed where you've got the modern, clean lines to the rustic cabin. Yeah. I mean, all sorts of tastes here to help people furnish homes of all sorts of design.
Right. We try and have a little bit of everything for everyone and try and make people feel as comfortable as possible when they're in the store. So
locally owned
and operated.
And I can't get over, you ladies have so much fun working on the floor. You've all been here decades.
Yes.
And then when I walked in, you were teasing your poor HR guy.
Yes. We have a wonderful team here. I love the entire staff here at JM Furniture. They're all very kind, very generous people, very helpful. It's just one large, wonderful family here.
And what is purchasing furniture in Carson City from a locally owned store? What makes that different and an option for people as opposed to a store that's owned by a corporation where people running it aren't necessarily in Nevada?
You know, we are all under the belief here that our return customers enjoy coming back to us. They get to where they trust JM Furniture, knowing that if something goes wrong with something, we're going to take care of it. We have our own dedicated service department here. We have our own delivery teams. We even have a four-wheel drive custom-made delivery truck for those wintry Tahoe deliveries. So
you got me with your service center is here, because being able to call and speak to a human, is that what you're promising? Hello.
And we come out to you if there's a problem. We don't try and get a customer to bring something back to us. So, yeah.
Well, Linda, where are you guys located?
We are located at 3333 North Carson Street in Carson City, Nevada. Our phone number is 775-883-3333. And our website is jmfurniture.net.
Great job, Linda. Furniture's in her blood, so if you need anything, come on down to JM Furniture and come see Linda. You're watching 2+U Nevada. Each day here at 2+U Nevada, we are hoping for you to participate in our show. That's the plus you part. With that, today we are continuing our Mom to Mom Mondays. For those of you who are new viewers, we named it that because we like alliteration. But really, this is for any family member needing that tidbit of advice. For example, I would love some advice to come in from grandparents, aunts, uncles. Provide advice to the younger generations based on your wisdom. For now, we have a mom to mom from a brand new mama, Ashley Evans. She's a rancher and entrepreneur with a toddler in tow.
My mom to mom is that you can just take them with you. And if they're screaming, they're going to scream at home, they're going to scream in the car, they're going to scream wherever you're at. And it's better to be outside doing what you love and take your baby with you.
And what a fantastic note to end our broadcast on today. Thank you for inviting us into your home this afternoon. We look forward to joining you every weekday at 3 for 2+U Nevada. 2 News Nevada at 4 starts now.